There are three signals that actually matter when it comes to ranking your product on page one. And the reason why these three signals are the ones to follow is common sense. There's a lot of nonsense out there, and that's kind of why I made this channel in the first place, is that I want to cut through all of that and really show you it's a little bit more straightforward than you might think. I've managed over 100 Amazon accounts, and the ones that rank on page one for their products all feed into these exact same three signals. So whether you're running your own account or you have an agency or you're using a tool, this is going to help you either do it yourself and make sure that you're feeding the signals that actually increase your ranking, or give you the ability to audit whoever's doing it for you. But first things first is we need to reframe our mind here. Amazon at the end of the day is a business, and so their goal is to grow their business, aka their top line revenue. So the reframe is, if Amazon is a business and they are trying to grow, they're going to rank products that make them more money, point blank period. And this is how you're going to be able to adapt in 2027, 2028, 2029 on Amazon, because you're not thinking, oh, is there a new specific signal that I should be aware of? Rather, you're thinking, what makes Amazon more money right now and how do I feed that? So now that you know the mindset, we're going to go into the exact three signals that directly prove to Amazon that your product will make them more money. If you deliver on those three signals, you're going to increase your organic ranking and you will get to the first page. If you don't, then you won't. The first signal is click-through rate. So why Amazon cares? Two reasons. First is that click-through rate is a funnel towards a conversion. The more likely you are to get clicks, meaning your click-through rate is higher, the more people are going to land on the actual listing page where conversions happen. And so why do conversions matter? Amazon takes 15% referral fee pretty much from every single sale that happens on their website. So more clicks means that they have more shots at getting that 15% commission. The second reason is if you're running ads, and hence the name, pay per click, the more likely you are to get clicks with a higher click-through rate, the more likely they are to make money because they make money on clicks. The second signal is conversion rate. Now, again, the reason why conversion rate matters is because they take a 15% commission, and that's where the real money is for them. If your product converts twice the rate of your competitor, Amazon's going to make twice the commission, twice the money on that, and therefore you're much more valuable to them than their competitor might be. Last but not least, the third signal is going to be sales velocity. The reason why I say sales velocity is because sales velocity refers to a rate of growth. Sales volume could be stable, it could be flat altogether, but sales velocity implies that there is an increase or there is an uptrend in the amount of sales that you're getting. So as an example, somebody who produces 10 sales a day every single day, but they don't have any more, they don't have any less, versus somebody who starts at 5 sales a day, then 7 sales a day, then 9 sales a day, then 10 sales a day. Even if they're both ending at 10 sales a day, the one that grew from 5 to 10 is going to get prioritized in ranking a little bit more. Showing that you have a sheer number of sales volume that proves demand is great, but showing that you have a rate of growth means that you have a lot more potential for Amazon to unlock. Again, all three of these signals maps directly to how Amazon makes money for themselves. Click-through rate feeds the commission funnel as well as the ad revenue for them. Conversion rate collects the commissions for them, and sales velocity is going to amplify those both. So you probably could have figured this out yourself, right? It's not a secret. It's not even debatable. This is clear. Amazon makes more money when these three things are true. So all we need to do is feed into these. It's just aligning incentives. That's it. Now, great. Amazon cares about those three signals and those specific metrics on their own. Now, how do we optimize those metrics so we can improve them? We need to get into the mind of a shopper now, right? Someone searches something, they then see the search results, they click or they don't click, they land on your listing, and then they convert or they don't convert. So let's start with the click-through rate. Click-through rate happens in search results, right? Somebody searches something up, your product shows up, now we need to get them to click. So there's 5 things that users really take into account when they're deciding whether to click on your product or not. First, the main image. The main image is the biggest lever, and if you do nothing else, fix your main image. The main image shouldn't just show the product, but it should address the pain points that that product is aiming to solve. For example, somebody's looking for a shoe cleaner, right? Maybe they have dirty shoes and they're trying to get it clean, right? They're not just looking for a cleaner. They might want to look for something that lasts. Maybe they want to look for something that works on multiple materials. That's what you want to make sure that you're addressing. Not just show that you're a shoe cleaner, but that you're addressing the biggest problems that somebody looking for a shoe cleaner cares about. It's very easy to just put one clear picture of the product, but it's a little bit more thought-provoking if you have the product and then also show the use case of it lasting lasting super long, or addressing multiple types of material. Now, the next thing is the title. If people are searching for shoe cleaner in the search bar, then your title should probably have shoe cleaner if you're gonna get some sort of click through it. I'm not telling you to say, okay, put shoe cleaner, sneaker cleaner, every single thing under the sun inside of your title. Amazon is smarter now, but you still wanted to make it directly relevant to what people are searching for, at least in the general sense. And then secondly, add those same pain points into the title. What does your product solve that people care about when they're looking for shoe cleaners? Have that in there. Maybe you have shoe cleaner and then in the title you also have lasts extra long, works on multiple materials. The exact same sort of pain points that you're trying to capture in that main image, you absolutely want to be able to capture in that title too. Next is going to be reviews. And of course, that's not something that you can just change on your own, right? You rely on purchases and actual people leaving reviews for that to happen. But what you can do is, especially if you're launching new products, you probably already know Amazon Vine is out there. It's a program where you can get reviews in exchange for heavily discounting your product, and that can get you up to 30 reviews off the bat. Honestly, all you need is at least 5 to 10 reviews, and given that your product is quality, as long as you can get those first 5 to 10 reviews at a 4.5 and up star rating, you're good to go in that review session, and you can kind of focus on the other levers instead and have that review just build organically from then on. Now, when it comes to your price, be competitive and be in the competitive ballpark. You don't have to match the exact price as the competitor. You don't have to undercut them. I actually recommend being a little bit higher than what they are to kind of show your premium status and that your product really is quality and it's not just the best because it's beating on price. Next will be any sort of badges or deals that you may want to run, and this is going to be a temporary lever. This is not something in the long run that you're going to want to rely on to improve your click-through rate. This is something that you can use kind of as a little booster, and it's good for initial momentum because obviously people love deals. This makes people click through them because they're getting something that they regularly wouldn't, right? But again, this isn't something that you want to rely on long term because we still want our click-through rate to be very solid when we're not running deals. And last but not least is showing up for the right keywords. Amazon's algorithm is already pretty good at showing your product for the right keywords when it comes to organic searches. Now, although they show up for the right keywords, they don't necessarily show up for all the right keywords. And that's where advertising comes into play, right? You can start ranking for all these additional keywords that you might think are right that Amazon might not be ranking you for just yet. And so this is where you have to make sure that you're advertising on keywords where you actually belong. If you sell bananas, don't advertise on oranges, right? That's not what you sell. Sometimes it can get very nuanced where you have to just do the testing to understand what works and what doesn't. But the point is you need to be showing up for keywords that actually match what you sell so the click-through rate can maintain throughout. All right, so you got your title in order, you got reviews, your price is competitive, you have badges or deals if you want to use that as a temporary lever, and you're running your ads effectively so that you're targeting keywords that you would actually get clicks for. Great, you've earned the click. So now how do we increase the conversion rate so once they land on your listing, they actually follow through? When you click into a listing, you're going to see that there's 5 bullet points, there's usually 5 images, and in your A+ content, you can do a little bit more than 5, but again, 5 is kind of the number here. And what do I mean by that? There's usually 5 biggest things that people care about when buying a product, right? So if it's shoe cleaners, people don't just want a shoe cleaner, but there's 5 pain points that they really want to address. Maybe they want to have something that works on multiple materials. Show that. Maybe they want to know that you have scratch resistance so you don't end up scratching shoes and it's very smooth bristles. Show that, right? You want to come up with the 5 biggest pain points that people have when considering buying a product like yours. And from there, you're going to want to address that in your bullet points. Each bullet point addressing each pain point. Your images, each image addressing those pain points. A+ content, each A+ content module addressing those pain points, right? And so you want to showcase the exact problems that your product solves in all of those areas. And it's really that simple. Shoppers want to solve their problem. And so you just show how your product solves those problems. That's it. What I see a lot of people do is just flexing aesthetics, right? For example, if no one cares that the bottle that your cleaning solution comes in is stainless steel, they don't say that it's a stainless steel bottle, right? Who cares about that? If they care more about, again, the longevity, about the multiple materials, then focus on that, right? Don't dedicate your assets just to things that make the product look cooler or more edgy or maybe more premium in ways that don't actually solve problems. Solve the problem. That's what people care about. That's it. Showcase that in 5 different ways. With pricing, it's the same as your click-through rate. Be competitive. You can be slightly premium so you can kind of show that, hey, I'm the best quality in my space, but you need to make sure that your product actually upholds that additional pricing standard, right? So if you're increasing your price by 30%, it should make sense that your product is priced that way because you either have better packaging, it has better features, or it addresses problems in a better way, whatever it is, right? You should have some sort of backing behind why your price is higher. But if you can do that, right, then absolutely price high as hell. Do it. You're going to make a lot more money that way and you won't see your demand fall because you're justifying that increased price. The final signal here is velocity. We locked in our click-through rate, we locked in our conversion rate, and we know exactly how to feed those signals and optimize them so now Amazon boosts our ranking. Essentially, there are 2 ways to drive additional sales velocity. One, it's through an external source. So maybe you're running TikTok, maybe you have Instagram, maybe, your product is trendy right now, maybe you have influencers. Whatever it is, if you have that external traffic coming, that can boost your velocity on Amazon. The fact of the matter is though, most people don't have that external channel and are mostly inside of Amazon's ecosystem. And so the second way to add additional velocity is through paid ads. That's the lever that Amazon only sellers can actually control. The way to increase your sales velocity through paid ads, it's real-time responses. If you're adjusting your ads once every week, you're missing so many opportunities to double down on what's working and cut back on what doesn't because you're only checking it every 7 days. If you're seeing sales pick up on something and conversion rate is solid and click-through rate is solid, lean into it, increase the bids, increase the budgets, isolate the keyword, go aggressive. Every ad conversion is sending Amazon another signal. Ads momentum builds organic momentum. Amazon doesn't care whether your conversion came from ads or whether it came organically, and you can manipulate ads, right? So if you have the opportunity to increase that and lean into it, then do that because that's exactly the type of velocity signals that Amazon's looking for. If you wait a week, you're going to miss on that momentum and you're not going to show the same type of signals that Amazon's looking for somebody that's doing it real time. And yes, I know increasing your spend costs more money and not everybody has unlimited budgets and maybe your ACoS goes up a little bit, but that's okay. The organic ranking that follows, right, from feeding those signals will dramatically outweigh the additional aggressive spend that you're putting towards your ad. So make sure whoever's running your account, whether it's you or it's a freelancer or an agency or a tool or whatever it is, that they're not making changes weekly, that they really are making changes in real time. Because again, that's how your results are going to compound the fastest and you're going to show that velocity signal to Amazon in real time and get those ranking gains a lot quicker. That's the full system. And so now when you put all of those together, what I want to show you is the effect that it's going to have on your overall Amazon business. When you increase your organic ranking, you are then going to get more organic exposure. When you get more organic exposure, aka organic traffic, you're going to get more organic sales that you did not have to pay for through ads. Now that you don't have to rely on ads for all of your sales momentum because your ranking has increased, now you're on the top of the first page, you're going to have a higher likelihood to get clicked, you're going to have a higher likelihood to get converted on, and that in itself is then going to increase your ranking even more, which then increases your click-through rate and conversion rate even more, which then increases your ranking even more. And now you get into a cycle here where you kind of have a snowball effect and you continue to increase your momentum the more and more and more you grow. So once you're ranking high organically, you don't need to keep ad spend cranked forever, right? That was kind of our initial momentum driver for the sales velocity part of things. Hold spend for a few weeks, make sure you can maintain that top placement. And once you're there, then you can experiment with reducing the amount that you spend on ads, etc. You want to make sure that you find that sweet spot of reducing your ad spend a little bit because you've built up all this organic benefit and organic momentum that's now carrying a lot more of the weight. But you want to make sure that there's a balance so that you're not crashing all this organic buildup that you've had and that you don't waste all that effort. Now you know the formula: click-through rate, conversion rate, and sales velocity. You know exactly why Amazon cares about it and how it makes them more money, and how to optimize each of these 3 signals so that you can feed Amazon what it wants. That's how you win on Amazon. And if you don't have the time to make the optimizations that you need or feed the real-time signals that you need to be making every single day, that's exactly why we built Astra. I essentially put all this logic, fed in the exact signals and the real-time adjustments that you need to make this sort of ranking play happen. And Astra treats ads like a ranking lever, exactly like we've been talking about. If that's something you're interested in, feel free to check it out. We're running a 30-day free trial. There's no credit card required or anything like that. So you can really just give it a go and see if it works for you. So hopefully this this helps clarify that ranking on Amazon isn't complicated. It's just making sure that you're aligning incentives with Amazon and its users. 3 signals, each one tied exactly to how Amazon makes money through the user journey, and if you deliver on them, you will increase your ranking. So ask yourself right now, of the 3 signals, which is the weakest, and go ahead and make it stronger. Stop optimizing for what feels right and start optimizing for what makes Amazon the most amount of money. Because when you make Amazon more money, they'll make you more money. The two are the same thing. That's it for this video. Hopefully it was helpful. Feel free to subscribe, leave a comment, whatever you want to do. And this will be the first video of many. So I'm looking forward to demystifying the Amazon space, and I'll see you in the next one.